Hey there, second grade. How's everybody doing today? And welcome back to another remote learning math lesson with Mr. Enzi. Today, we are going to be adding what we call multi-digit numbers. Whew! And if we can do this, that would really turn us into some amazing mathematicians. So let's get started as I shrink myself into the corner. Today, we are going to be doing grade 2, lesson 5.11, and this is the open response lesson, and it's called adding multi-digit numbers. And you're going to need a couple of things for this lesson. You're going to need your whiteboard and your marker, and you're going to need your math journal, which is your blue journal book, and it is opened up to page 128. So if you need to go gather up those materials, you're going to want to hit that pause button on this video and get all the materials that you would need, and then you can press play because we are going to get started. All right, so in your math journal, you're going to need to open up to page 128. And I wrote that page number at the top just so that you can see it. Page 128. So this is our math message today, our little warm-up that we're going to be doing. And with our little warm-up here, our question says, you buy a clock that costs $78. You pay with a $100 bill. How much is your change? Now remember, change means the money you get back. You may use a number grid to help. Now you're going to notice that you have a lot of space where you can go ahead and try to solve this problem. You can use your number grid to help you. So I want you to go ahead and hit that pause button, and then I want you to solve this problem right in your math journal. And then notice that there is an answer line where you are going to put the money that you will get back for the change. Now, the dollar sign is going to go up in front of the number. And it's an S with a line that goes down the middle of it. And then after that dollar sign is the amount that you're going to put. So go ahead and hit that pause button and see if you can solve the problem called buying a clock on page 128. When you're done, press the play button. We're going to see how you did. All right, second grade. Did you get an answer of $22? Because that is the correct answer. Now, let's go and take a look. It talks at the bottom about talking about your strategy with your partner. Well, we are actually going to use many different strategies to solve this problem. Remember that a strategy is a plan to achieve a goal. Well, our strategy in this math is to solve the math problem, buying a clock. So there are many different strategies that we could use. Let's take a look at some types of strategies. Now, you might want to do these in your journal page also, or you can do some of them on your whiteboard if you don't have room in your journal. So one of the strategies that we could use is called the number grid strategy. So I'm going to take our number grid. If you have a number grid nearby, you can use your number grid also. But you might remember that on the number grid, we find the two numbers that we have, how much it costs and how much we paid. Well, we used $78. It cost $78 It cost $78 and we paid with $100. So on a number grid, I can count up. And you might remember that we can go 10, 20, 21, 22. And that was the answer that we had gotten, $22. Now, I always like to explain my work. So if I was going to explain my work, let me show you how I would probably type it. I would probably start with calling it the number grid strategy. I used the number grid strategy. And then I'm going to tell them what I did because I showed my work. Now I want to talk about my work. I started at 78 and counted up. 78 plus 10 equals 88. And isn't that what I did? 78 plus 10 equals 88. 88 plus 10 more equals 98. There it is. 98 plus 2 equals 100. So 10 plus 10 plus 2 equals 22. My answer is $22. Now you don't have to write this down because that's a lot to write down, but today you're going to have an open response where you're going to have to be able to explain your work. So if I was explaining the number grid strategy, you can see how I did it. I used the number grid strategy. I started at 78 and counted up. 78 plus 10 equals 88. 88 plus 10 more equals 98. And then 98 plus 2 equals 100. So my answer is 10, 20, 21, $22. So that was our number grid strategy. We can also use the base 10 block strategy. So here's another type of a strategy that we can use. This time it involves flats, longs, and cubes. You might want to try this one on your whiteboard with us. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show $78. So using base 10 blocks, 78, I'm going to make 78 using longs and cubes. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, too much. So I have to go backtrack, right? I can only use 78. So I want to have 70, and then I need 8 cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I have to get to 100. So I need to add more longs and cubes in order to get to 100. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make another group of 10. So I'm going to add 1, 2. And there is another group of 10. So now I have 80. But we have to get to 100. So I have 80, 90, 100. Now how much did I add in? Well, let's check. I added in 10, 20, 21, 22. So again, we used base 10 blocks and we were able to get the same answer, $22 by counting up. So I'm going to show you how I would explain that in writing. I used base 10 blocks. So that's going to be the start of my explanation. I started with 7 longs and 8 cubes. I needed to add longs and cubes to get to 100. I added 2 more longs, and 78 plus 10 equals 98. Then I added 2 cubes. 98 plus 2 equals 100. I added 22 blocks, or I added 22. Something like that, right? I used base 10 blocks. I started with 7 longs and 8 cubes. I needed to add longs and cubes to get to 100. I added 2 more longs, 78 plus 20, not 10. 78 plus 20 equals 98. And then I added 2 cubes, because 98 plus 2 more would give us 100. So we added a total of 22. Awesome job. Now, there's also other strategies. I could use an open number line. Now, this happens to be my personal favorite. So let's see, if I wanted to use an open number line, you might remember that with an open number line, the first thing we do is we draw a number line. So on your whiteboard, you can go ahead and draw a number line. And this time, we start with our smaller number, which was 78. And we had to stop at our bigger number, which was 100. And again, we're going to count up. Now, I like to make my friends a 10. So I'm in the 70s. So I like to go to the 80s. Here are my 80. How many do I have to travel to go from 78 to 80? Well, I think friend a 10. 8 plus what equals the next 10? Did you say plus 2? 78 plus 2 more gets me to 80. And then I like to just count by tens. 80 plus 10 takes me to 90. Notice that I write my hops on top. That's why it's an open number line. We're no longer hopping by 1 anymore. We can hop whatever we want. And then I go from 90 to 100, which means I hop another 10. Now, how much did I hop in all? Well, let's see. I hopped 10, 20, plus 2 is 22. Again, I hopped $22. So you can see there's lots of different ways that I can solve these types of problems. But I'm not done yet. Look at this other way. I can use coins to solve this problem. So far, I have $78. Well, I can go ahead and make my $78. I can use 78 cents to count up. I can use whatever I want. So let's go ahead and, coins or dollars or money. Let's just make some dollars. So I'm going to start by making my $10. So you might remember we did this earlier in the year. I could have a 10 and another 10. That's 20, 30, 40. I could have 50, 60, and 70. So there's my $70. But because I have 78, I'm going to have to put in some ones. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I have $78. So if I want to go ahead and count up to get to 100, right now I'm at 78. If I add 10 more, I'm at 90. I'm at 88. If If I add another $10, I'm at 98, 99, 100. How much money did I add in? 10, 20, 21, $22 again. So we can solve this one problem many different ways. Now, if I used money and I wanted to explain what I did, I could say I used dollars. I started with $7, $10, and $8, $1. That gives me $78. I counted up until I got to 100. Pretty cool. I added $10 to get 88. I added another $10 to get 98. Then I added $2 to get to 100. I counted up $22. 10, 20, 21, and 22. So you can see that there are lots of different strategies we can use to solve a math problem. Today, you are going to have an open response. Let me refresh your memory. Our open responses are graded using one of 4 points. You could score a 0 if you don't even try to solve the problem. And we're mathematicians. We always try. You can score a 1 if you try to solve the problem, but your answer's not right. You could score a 2 if most of your answer is correct, but your explanation is hard to follow. So you might be able to get $22, but you might not be able to explain the answer. And then you can score a 3 if your answer is correct and your explanation is awesome. Today, your problem is going to involve a shopping poster. This will be in Seesaw. Your shopping poster shows 8 different objects. Each object has a different amount of money. You have the telephone, the camera, the basketball, the calculator, the toaster, the iron, the blank CDs, and the chair. Here's what you're going to be doing today. You're going to select 2 items to buy from the shopping poster. You're going to write the names of the items and their prices. So whatever you decide to buy, you're going to write what it is you bought, and then you're going to write the price, and you're going to use the shopping poster to help you. And that's going to be in Seesaw. Once you find your 2 items that you want to buy, here's your task. The cash register at the store is broken. Find the total cost of your items 2 different ways to be sure you are correct. Show and explain your first strategy here. So on your Seesaw activity, you're going to show how you got the total, and you're going to use a strategy. Maybe you're going to use the number grid. Maybe you're going to use an open number line. Maybe you're going to use base 10 blocks. I don't know. Maybe you're going to use dollars. Whatever your strategy is, you're going to show it and explain it. And then you're going to do the same thing with your second strategy, which would be a different one. Now, you're going to get the same answer both times, we hope, because you're going to be doing the same problem when you go shopping. All right, 2nd grade. Today, we did the open response. We explained it. We practiced one together. We looked at how we can have multiple strategies. Your turn to get started, and I can't wait to see how smart you are.